Yep. Nothing will ever stop us, guys. We are on a mission. We have a purpose. You know, we make mistakes along the way. We get into things we shouldn't be into sometimes.
Hey, y'all. We're back with an old school nonsense pre-record.
For those of you that are new here, this is an old school throwback pre-record of clips that I've thrown together to tell a story about Blowhorn Betty. B-E-D-D-Y. Betty.
Since Miss Blowhorn Betty has been up to her normal shenanigans, I figured we would highlight it in an old school fashion. Her words, her actions, her behaviors. Because currently, she is in pure denial, if you ask me, about what her actions have led to. But without any further ado, I figured we will just take a look at some of her most recent behavior with a few additional added in clips from way back when. So, with nothing more to say, Betty, take it away.
Nobody to answer to. Why do you feel I owe you myself? You guys aren't getting the message. I owe you nothing. You do not control me. You do not own me. You cannot tell me what the fuck to do.
10-4 Rubber Ducky, nobody's trying to tell you what to do or how to behave. You do that all on your own.
In the United States or abroad, you don't own me. Nobody does. You don't control my mouth. You don't control my actions. You don't control my finances.
Well, Betty, I know you didn't ask for this, but truthfully, I don't think you control your mouth or your finances either.
Get it through your fucking skulls. Leave me alone. I owe you nothing. And I definitely do not owe you a response or where I'm going or what I'm doing. This is not China.
No, ma'am. It's America.
This is America. And I can go wherever the fuck I want to go. Do you not get that through your very mentally disturbed heads?
I would say somebody woke up on the wrong side of the bed that day, but carry on.
What part of that do you guys not understand? You don't control me. I owe you nothing. I am my own person.
I don't necessarily think anybody's trying to control you, Betty.
When have I ever gone to you to tell me what you can talk about, where you can go, what opinions you can have, where you can spend your money? Exactly. I am done with the hypocrisy from you channels. Enough is enough. I don't owe you anything. I don't care if I had every fucking thing wrong on every single story I've ever covered. It doesn't justify you attacking me. There is no justifications for the bullying that took place on the YouTube platform against me.
There is a lot of irony in the upcoming statements she's about to make.
Because that's the only thing that's going to truly unchain me from all this shit, is just getting it out, cutting it loose, and letting it go. So that's where we're at. Trust me, this all will come to an end. We may have a little bit of it, but for the most part, it will come to an end, because that's the whole purpose of this court action. You know, we not only that, but she did a lot of damage that she thought she could do. This is going to prove that she can't do those things and other people can't either. You know, it's unlawful. But yet they continue to engage in it until a court system tells them they can't do it. And that's the problem I have, because they're not doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do. They have to have a court order. They're like the deadbeat father that needs the court order to pay the child support. You know? And it's just getting out of control. It's getting out of control. So I don't know really what to do about it. All I can do is talk and be done with it. I really would like to focus back on true crime. I honestly have. Screw it. We might as well. We've got nothing but time. Right? We've got nothing but time over here. We might as well look into true crime. What is going on around the country today?
Well, in today's true crime top headlines, Blowhorn Betty is still hiding from being served. The irony of it all.
When does it stop? When does the criminal enterprise stop being criminal enterprises. Because that's what I'm looking at them as. Criminal enterprises. Here on the streets of YouTube. That do nothing but bully people. It's illegal to bully people. It's illegal to use electronic devices to harass somebody.
Hey, did she just say it's illegal to use electronic devices to harass people?
It's a felony in most states. So if you're engaging in that, you need to probably look at that. And if you don't believe me, maybe look up your own state statutes to see if it exists. Because I guarantee if you just look and read, you might be shocked. Just saying. Why don't you guys just engage? If you don't like something, say you don't like it and move on. It's, the adult thing to do. Again, the adult thing to do. Maybe not the childish thing to do, but it's definitely the adult thing to do. And the last time I checked, we're mostly adults on here. And you can keep coming here on this channel and trying to attack me all day long. I have never committed a crime. I don't deserve this. I don't. And I can promise you, AJ's mom, it sounds like you're a mom. How would you feel if this was your child? Because let me tell you, I have a mother that has to watch this. Because you don't like something I do. You do not have that authority over me.
Yikes.
Just like I don't have that authority over you. Could you imagine if I came into your house and told you how to treat your son or your daughter or your child?
Meanwhile, in my opinion, she is currently stalking and harassing the parents of a missing child. Isn't it ironic?
Could you imagine a stranger telling you how to parent your kids? And you don't even know me and you're trying to tell me what I should be doing with my time. If you don't like it, don't support it and don't watch it and don't engage with it.
Someone cue the violins, please.
Guys, let's get it all on the table. Let's throw it all out there. Let's throw it all out there. Let the chips fall where they fall. Tell me what it is. Tell me what it is. Because I have a right to be here just like everybody else. I have a right to go and move freely in this country as I damn well please. I have a right to search for anyone I damn well please. Nobody has the right to obstruct or hinder me, not even law enforcement. So explain to me what it is. Is it because I know the law and I don't let people push me around?
No, that's definitely not it. Not even close.
Is that really what it is? Is it the fact that I'm pretty? Is it the fact that I'm knowledgeable? Is it the fact that I'm smart? I'm passionate and I'll do whatever it takes? Is that what it is? Is it jealousy?
Again, that's a definite no. No, not at all.
What is it?
I mean, let's just take a look back at your behavior and maybe, just maybe, you can figure it out.
I really thought that was a good live from, with Seth. I think Tony managed that well, very, very well. The mods in the chat, very, very well. I know that people are going to tear it apart. That's what they do. But, to live stream, like Seth's channel's not monetized. You know what I'm saying? And two people, one that's the first to talk about tragedy pimps, right? Being a tragedy pimp, right? Literally displaying how much of a tragedy pimp she is literally disgusting. So you think you are entitled to make money off this man's child when he has a non-monetized account, that you steal and hijack his show. I just thought that was in poor taste. To literally turn a profit when the actual father is running a live stream, you thought it was smart to turn a profit on his situation, on his live, to literally pull viewership from him so you can have profit. I think is really despicable and deplorable. I don't know what other thing. I mean, it's one thing to steal a content creator's live, which is illegal anyways, right? So you're breaking the rules by that. So these felons on YouTube don't mind breaking the law, but they're trying to somehow tell us that they're reformed or something. I'm just trying to figure it out. I don't know. I know it's all smoke and mirrors, right? It's all about the dollar bill, y'all. Even though the tragedy pimp queen, right, doesn't likes to point it out to everybody. Literally dogs a father of a missing child and hijacks his live. Disgusting. But what do you expect from a nasty ass felon?
Meanwhile, she doesn't want to talk about her behavior.
Just when you want us to believe that you are a upstanding citizen, you show us what piece of fucking shit you are. Nasty ass. So glad I'm going to stick it to you.
Is that so, Betty? Is that so?
Sooner or later. Sooner or later. And I can't wait, because that'll be my karma, baby. That'll be my karma. You are just a horrible, despicable woman. And I wish nothing but bad karma to you. To be honest with you, just trash. Ghetto trash. Just ghetto trash. Why don't you tell her to turn her damn camera on and face her audience?
What exactly does that mean, Betty?
I bet you'd find a lot of lies just by her body language on camera, wouldn't you? Maybe that's why she turns her camera off so much.
Speaking of lies, I think we've got a few to look at.
Oh, I don't know what games they're playing, but I have to think that this is the hate channels giving them advice instead of law firms giving them advice. Because if it was law firms, they would have went through an attorney, which she didn't do. It doesn't really matter because I will deal with this when I get to the court. And believe me, there's going to be a lawsuit literally initiated against Katie with a immediate and emergency injunction, because what she's doing is she's violating the law. And she can't say I harassed her one bit. I've never even spoken to the lady.
Have you ever looked up the definition of harassment, Betty?
I have never even been within 500 feet of this woman. Okay? This is a flat out lie.
For starters, how would you know it's a lie when you're avoiding service? You must have forgotten your own words right here that you said.
Just, when does it stop? When does the criminal enterprise stop being criminal enterprises? Because that's what I'm looking at them as. Criminal enterprises here on the streets of YouTube that do nothing but bully people. It's illegal to bully people. It's illegal to use electronic devices to harass somebody.
I'm thinking you definitely forgot you said that.
It's a felony in most states. So if you're engaging in that, you need to probably look at that. And if you don't believe me, maybe look up your own state statutes to see if it exists. Because I guarantee if you just look and read, you might be shocked.
Betty, have you looked up Tennessee's laws yet?
So I don't know. She can't sit there and say I'm harassing her by talking about her on my channel. And she can't say that I'm harassing her by going to Walmart and asking them to look for her son.
Let's take a look back to one of my videos from June 21st, 2024 with some of Betty's behaviors.
And the reason I'm doing this is not because BHB is the worst creator on this app and I'm trying to hate bond with everybody else. I want people to realize what a danger she is to these families, but she ain't the only one. All of the misinformation, Silver's on the scene, Mr. E's, pushing off false information is not helpful, and it does more damage to the victim, which is Sebastian. This is all being done. Everybody's doing this in Sebastian's name, right? It's awareness for Sebastian. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's exploitation of Sebastian.
She's changed her ride. Check this out. I am really uneasy about a few things when it comes to the...
Oh, hold on.
You're not going to believe what I just uncovered. Katie has changed her appearance and she's changed her ride. Check this out. I am really uneasy about a few things when it comes to the Sebastian Rogers case. This is Sebastian Rogers. He's a 15-year-old autistic boy that disappeared when he was in his mother's custody and has not been seen or heard from since. Katie's story has never made sense from the beginning when it came to her son or what she did the night before he disappeared. But I have serious concerns about both Katie and Chris's behaviors after Sebastian disappeared.
Please take special notice to all the pictures and videos she's using for her content. Seems to me they've been keeping the Proudfoot family under surveillance. And when I say they, I mean Betty and other creators and friends just like her.
Pay attention to what she's saying.
Katie's had a very, very specific car that she has been driving for some time since the beginning of this and before she ran away from her own home to stay in this camper with her husband.
Now she's claiming Katie ran away. We know that they didn't even leave their home until after all of the YouTubers and chaos started in real life for them. She didn't run away. There's a safety concern. And I've shown you multiple reasons why with people recording them as of yesterday, locals in their area. Go check out that channel and see all the driving around and recording that they've been doing. All of the different routes from Texas Roadhouse and all the things that people are putting out here.
Been in the middle of the search for her son. Katie is very distinct with her hair color and her facial expressions.
I find it extremely tacky that she made the mother of a missing child into a missing flyer herself.
So why is she also changing her appearance? And
God forbid she color her hair or wear her glasses.
As you see right here, Katie's hair color has changed and she's now wearing glasses.
Oh my God, she had her glasses on for the first pic that you've seen? Whoa. She's totally in disguise. She colored her hair. No. Get out of town. The ponytail looks exactly the same as the picture you showed at the Harley shop. Okay.
Notice that Katie isn't alone in this photo either. There is also a minor child present in this photo.
Is Katie trying to change her appearance? I want to know, what are your thoughts about this? This is a little crazy, but it doesn't stop there. Check this out. Someone
Trust and believe it doesn't stop there, because she's about to show you that she uses exactly what I showed you as content.
was driving by Katie and Chris's house, and their back camera on their vehicle captured this.
And it just so happens to be that the video she's using for this is from sniffers on the scene. Imagine that.
Where Katie is at. But one thing I noticed, she also got a new ride. Who goes car shopping when their son is missing?
I find it more appropriate to ask who in their right mind stalks the parents of a missing child.
We don't know if that's her new ride. We have no idea if she purchased a new vehicle. And what the shit if she did? Who cares?
There's a lot of craziness going on in this case, don't you think? So,
and you're creating a lot of it.
Let me know your thoughts. Do you
I'm going to let you know my thoughts. Trust and believe.
think this is normal behavior from the East Coast?
Do you think your behavior is normal, Betty? Because I'm starting to really think that you've gone too far here.
Continue to work.
Oh yeah, her intro about how hard she works. Okay.
To see everybody out here on the streets of TikTok. Good morning. It's ridiculously early, 6:15. TGIF to all of my beautiful people on this platform. It's nice to see you all. We are
Yes, this video was from this morning.
discussing the case
Again, I did this video June 21st, 2024.
of Sebastian Rogers. He's a 15-year-old boy that has disappeared from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee, and has not been heard or seen from since. And we've been going over a lot with this case and trying to stay focused on all of the information that needs to be had when it comes to this case. Let me just switch it around for lighting purposes. There we go. Much better lighting. And so long story short is we've
Trigger warning. Heavy trigger warning.
kind of uncovered a lot of information that we believe to be true, such as Katie's false stories, the fact that this child walked out of the home. We don't believe any of that. None of that we really truly believe, nor is there any factual evidence that supports that one way or the other. It sounds like law enforcement cannot ascertain how Sebastian would have left the home, but we've been kind of focusing on Christopher Proudfoot.
Yeah, she has. At least she's admitting it. She's been focusing on Chris, and somehow trying to make Chris responsible for doing some sort of cover up. But when I say trigger warning, it's about to get real disgusting.
Proudfoot is kind of the star of our show for the last week and will be the star of our show for the rest of this week. I am leaving.
The star of her show, the step parent of a missing child. Now remember, this is part of Seth's team. She's Tony's girl. She's a part of that crew. Seth has a wrench in her chest. Don't forget, she's raising money for Seth. Listen to how she's about to talk about Seth, his son. Just pay attention.
Leaving tomorrow at some point to embark on my trip to Tennessee. And of course, it doesn't come without the normal threats that we get. But now that I've identified that the threats are truly coming from Camp Proudfoot, it's giving me a little more.
Camp Proudfoot. So because Chris and Katie have gone on Clue's channel, somehow that's Camp Proudfoot. In my knowledge, nobody's doing anything on behalf of the Proudfoot family. In fact, I would highly hope that that's absolutely not happening. I can't confirm or deny because I have no contact there. But you see what she's doing. She's trying to justify her actions with the battle her and Clue have going on. I'm not really sure all of it. Haven't listened to all of it. Not caught up. So Just understand that. But she's trying to justify this by trying to state that the Proudfoots are associated there. That's extremely dangerous for the Proudfoot family because it gives her this whole like justification. Well, she's part of their team, so they're obviously okay in encouraging this
direction and help. So I will be taking obviously natural and necessary precautions while I'm out there to make sure that I'm safe while I search for this boy. And, I deal with this stuff literally every case that I go to.
If you deal with this stuff every case that you go to, you would think that maybe you would recognize maybe the way you go about it is a problem.
But we've been talking about several different aspects of this case recently.
And this was all being done before she even went to Tennessee the first time.
Those aspects are Chris's timeline, whether forensics have been done in the home, and what time Chris could have possibly been at work, whether or not the cranes are operating at 5 o'clock in the morning or not. And so far, we've been getting a lot of information. We've got cameras, we've got traffic cameras that are there. We've got other sources that we can derive information from, although I have not looked into those aspects.
Can I ask y'all a question with this camera stuff? Yeah, people are seeing all sorts of stuff. I have personal feelings on what I think I see in the cameras too. But what I find ironic is we know that law enforcement has collected cameras up and down the road. So I find it interesting that people continue to say it's not a trash truck. Why haven't they shown videos from the other, not law enforcement, but if these people are so hell-bent, you would think that all of this was caught on other cameras, right? There would be other angles, other cameras that picked up all of this stuff that they claim they're seeing.
We're dealing with jurisdictions here. So there are some jurisdictions that law enforcement in Tennessee have no right to control. So I'm going to be looking at other.
Hence why the TBI, the FBI, and the Secret Service are all involved. And another thing about this phone call that Chris and Katie had that was 3 hours long that they continue to try and make into something else. Phone records guaranteed were gathered right off the bat. So if they didn't, and they lied to law enforcement about that, they would have answered questions to law enforcement. We have not heard anything that they have lied to law enforcement about the phone call. In fact, we've heard that all of the parents have cooperated with law enforcement.
Aspects of this to derive some additional information. But one of the conversations.
Happy birthday, Angel.
That we have is going to be a little more difficult and probably less palatable for many of us. And it's, if we do believe Chris is the brawn, he's the cleanup.
He's the cleanup. This is where I'm going to tell you again, heavy trigger warning, because this is about to be really disgusting. And I find it even more disgusting that the father of the missing child aligns with this person and is okay with this.
So to speak. If that's what your theory is leading you to believe, then we need to figure out what he could have done. They're military. So I figured over the last couple days, I would reach out to the military people on our channels and platforms and see how they would handle it.
So she's been reaching out to people that are military, according to her, from her channel. That's something that we need to clarify because what she's about to say is incredibly disrespectful to military personnel.
They were put in the same type of situation. No, we cannot call law enforcement. And I even specifically said, we're not going to say call law enforcement, right? Because
don't do what Chris and Katie did. Don't call law enforcement, according to her.
We all know that that's what we're supposed to do. But if we're talking about this case, we know that that's probably the one thing that never happened. So we're looking.
Except it's the one thing we know happened. They called law enforcement.
Looking for disposal methods. And so
now we're looking for disposal methods. So once again, you heard Seth in an interview with Banfield from 2 nights ago stating very openly that he wants Sebastian to come home, that he needs him to call in. He's wanted. Very hopeful seeming. But Betty over here, part of Tony's team, is about to degrade his son.
I had some military people send me their emails on if they were put in a situation like this. I'm not going to call anybody out by name. I will tell you that the emails were fairly similar, which is highly disturbing.
Who knows if she even got fucking emails?
And how anyone thinks this is acceptable is beyond me.
That would be how the majority of my military people would handle something like this. If there was a situation, there would be, they would have the appetite, not that they want to, but they would have and are trained to have the appetite.
They are trained to have the appetite. They would have the appetite or are trained to have the appetite
to handle situations. Okay. They are trained to unalive people.
No, ma'am. Not all military personnel are trained to unalive people.
It's their whole purpose. A lot of people say so is law enforcement.
That is not the military's sole purpose.
Law enforcement are designed to maintain the peace. Big difference. Are they trained? Yes, they are, but they're trained differently. So,
and this lady claims to be intelligent.
Now that we have that perspective, the reason why I'm coming to social media is we've got search there. And I want to make sure that they're not overlooking critical information because we might not be looking for an entire being, if you get my drift.
If you get my drift.
There's a lot of ways to scatter things on a 3.5 hour.
So now Sebastian is diminished to a thing
drive. And that would be the preferred method of many of the people that I spoke with.
The preferred method of the people you spoke with. So the people she is speaking with have a preferred method of disposing of a body. Interesting to think about. This is who you hang out with.
Here's one of her buddies.
Cars, you see them 3, 4, 5 in the morning. Maybe you just pull over and bloop, drop off a body. Headed to Henderson.
Other options are for complete gone, and which I've brought up before. Some people brought up in the emails of, boar and pig farms.
We all need to put the fucking movie Hannibal right the hell down. Right down. Put it down.
Many of them that are coming in are from prisons and jails and mental institutions, insane asylums. They hate when I use Dr. Hannibal Lecter as the late great Hannibal Lecter.
Put it right down, because your whole theories here, y'all have just taken a complete other course here.
Would this be something Chris could have done? Yes. Is there easier ways of accomplishing this? Yes. What would that be? Freezing. And people have brought up, and now, does he have access to one? I honestly don't know. I'm just,
in my opinion, this is completely negligent.
Describing some of the emails that I received.
Show the emails. Prove it. Because I'm calling your bluff. Bullshit.
And it doesn't sound good. And we know Chris took off for a very significant amount of time at a very critical point in an investigation.
And law enforcement was aware of his whereabouts the entire time he was gone. And if you think they weren't, you are dumber than I originally even thought.
And that gave him enough time to do a lot. And now that we add this aspect possibly into it, it can explain even more about why it was such a lengthy time period that he was gone.
This is so disrespectful to all military personnel. And if that's the mindset of the people you run around with, I think it's your mindset more than anything else. And I think, like I said before, y'all have watched Hannibal way too many times. And if you know, you know, that's a whole scene in that freaking movie. This is just disgusting. So we have the father of a missing child going on Banfield 2 nights ago, begging for his son to come home. Then he's associated with this one, has a wrench in her chat. Granted, he probably doesn't want it, but she gave it to him. And that's part of the team, you know, she's taken up for him. But now she has diminished his son to a package, parts.
Now I'd have to anticipate that this would leave a massive amount of.
It's the best I've ever
seen. I would have to presume that they would leave a massive, and I mean a massive amount.
It's her audio, not mine.
So there is that if that is the case. But again, it's just I don't even want to really discuss that aspect at all. The thought makes me nauseous.
But she's discussing it. The thought makes her nauseous, but she's just putting it out here.
But we do have people out there searching, and I think it's important enough.
We have people out there searching. Who's your people?
that while they're out there searching.
I mean, the people that are stalking and harassing the Proudfoot family, following them out to eat at a restaurant. I mean, those people, they're not searching for Sebastian. They're stalking and harassing the family of a missing child.
That they look for smaller items and be very keen to the fact of smaller items. Maybe get more, look at, if you see something out there, see if there's, get knowledgeable about the human bone structure is what I'm getting at. I think that'll be helpful for the searchers out there. They need to be looking for other things besides just a box or a soft spot in the dirt.
Silver's on the scene. I hope everyone's doing great this Wednesday, August 7th. Did you feel that? Did you feel that shake, that boom? Silver's on the scene just arrived in Nashville, Tennessee. You know what that means. That's right. It's time to dig. Digging up the truth. Stay tuned. More to come. Bam!
If this child is truly gone, like where the theories that I'm hearing, if that truly is, then we're looking, then it's going, unless we can find evidence, something from Sebastian, that will be the only way that I can see that the Proudfoots could potentially go in for, say, a first degree.
And that was part of the reason why it makes me so scared. I'm not scared about her going to Tennessee with other creators. I'm scared of what she's about to do to this family. I'm scared about evidence popping up places. I don't trust her or any of her ex-partners, current partners, anything. These people are dangerous to the families of missing people. These people are dangerous to tragedies. This is not acceptable behavior, and the victims deserve better. And that's Sebastian and his family. As of right now, we have no evidence to prove that anybody did anything to Sebastian. But that's not what she thinks, and she is not about to let it go. She is bound, determined to jam Chris up somehow, some way. And if anybody has contact with Chris and Katie, I implore you to please make sure that they understand the danger with this one.
Again, this is an older clip from June 21st, 2024. Chris and Katie Proudfoot and their extended family are very aware and have filed for temporary orders of protection against Blowhorn Betty. Rightfully so, in my opinion.
And all of her cohorts. It's not a game. This isn't a fucking game. And people are acting like it's a game.
Now that you have a little reminder of what she's been doing all along before she even went to Tennessee, let's go back to current behavior.
So whatever game she's playing, she's about to have her ass burnt. Katie has a warrant. Smiley showed it. That's what I was saying. But Nick Barris wrote this thing, which he deleted, stating that it was for this harassment. I've got an order of protection that's being delivered to me for this horse shit. I don't even know who it's from, whether...
There's never been a warrant for Katie Proudfoot, and they all know that. But Betty, with her extensive legal knowledge, should have absolutely known that. But she's avoiding service.
It's Katie or whether it's somebody else. But if it's Katie and she just lied under oath to get an order of protection, then she's got some problems. Because you can't lie under...
Not only does Katie Proudfoot have a temporary order of protection against Betty, but so does Terry and Kathy Bowersox. And at this rate, there could be more to come.
Oh, it is a Class A misdemeanor to lie under oath. And there's no way she could ever say that I am a threat to her. I've never been within 500 feet of this lady.
In this circumstance, I, for one, think there is a combination of things that are leading to the Proudfoot and the Bowersox requesting an order of protection.
I've never spoken to this lady. I've never knocked on her door. I've never knocked on her neighbor's door. I drove on a public road.
Seems like she's intentionally being obtuse here.
Was Chris went to Louisiana. I heard on another channel a few days ago was that Chris went to Louisiana. Well, there you go. And I've been home up until Monday night when my dog was attacked, and I went over to my mother's, but I had already planned this trip. I mean, I even notified QB's attorney that I would be out the second or the last week of the month into the first week of the new month. So it's like, it's a temporary order of protection from Katie. Well, that's what I've I've got, but there's literally an active warrant that has her description, her name, her description on it, her height and weight. I mean, it's like her date of birth, and everybody's trying to say that this has something to do with me. I don't have a warrant for my arrest.
Katie Proudfoot doesn't have a warrant for her arrest, never did. Neither does Betty at this point in time.
There's no way anybody would ever have enough information like that. I don't break the law.
If you didn't break the law, why are you so scared of showing up for court? If you have so much evidence to prove you never broke the law, why didn't you just show up for court? Let's look at some other clips of you seemingly looking a little rattled, in my opinion.
See you all today, this beautiful, beautiful day. I'll wait for a few people to get in. Oh, Tulips is already here. Hey, Tulips, it's nice to see you, my love. I hope everything is going well for you. I hope everything is going super, super. Hi, I'm driving, but I'm listening. Well, we're just going to be chatting away. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to be chatting away about other than the people that are consistently committing crimes. And they think they're justified in doing so. Like they literally just lied under oath.
She continues to say that they lied under oath. Meanwhile, she's avoiding service of the papers that would detail what she is actually being accused of. So how does she know that they lied under oath when she is intentionally avoiding being served with the papers that would detail the claims made by the petitioner?
We're going to get to the bottom of it. And as soon as somebody says that there's a protective order, or they try to do an emergency protective order, and there's only one way that you can get an emergency protective order, and that's if I've threatened somebody with bodily harm, which I've never threatened anybody with bodily harm. Hell, I was married for 10 years, and I've never threatened my husband with bodily harm. I shouldn't say that I did one time, but that was because he had me arrested for throwing a plate of food, not even in his direction.
Well, Betty, they were granted the temporary order of protection, so they've already shown evidence to the judge that there is a concern, and were granted a temporary order of protection. It has now been extended because you are playing games. It's interesting to me that you said you would never threaten your ex-husband. Meanwhile, he had you arrested for throwing a plate of food. Betty, do you forget some of the things you've been arrested for in the past? Asking for a friend.
But that's just domestic stuff. That has nothing to do. I've never had literally. I don't threaten people. I may threaten them with a lawsuit, but that's not justified to get a restraining order. So somebody absolutely lied 100% under oath to get a temporary restraining order and try to get me to appear. Well, the bottom line is you got to be able to serve me. And I'm sorry, but your horse shit ain't going to be served to me until after the 8th. So, I guess that's pretty much a done deal. And if they pursue it any further, I'm going after them for charges.
I can't imagine that the judge will like to know that she's intentionally playing games and avoiding service.
Period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. They lied under oath. Absolutely.
Didn't you, Betty, just recently try to get an order of protection against another content creator on this app and it was denied?
That was disgusting. That was so freaking white trash, ghetto, nasty, disgusting behavior.
Thank you for acknowledging your behavior has been horrific.
And I damn sure haven't harassed this lady. Commentary on my channel does not constitute harassment. Going into her community and searching does not constitute harassment. Like, I literally physically have to harass this lady. I haven't even spoken to her.
I think we need to roll the tape one more time and remind her of the things that she said.
Just, when does it stop? When does the criminal enterprise stop being criminal enterprises? Because that's what I'm looking at them as. Criminal enterprises here on the streets of YouTube that do nothing but bully people. It's illegal to bully people. It's illegal to use electronic devices to harass somebody. It's a felony in most states. So if you're engaging in that, you need to probably look at that. And if you don't believe me, maybe look up your own state statutes to see if it exists. Because I guarantee if you just look and read, you might be shocked. Just saying. Why don't you guys just engage? If you don't like something, say you don't like it and move on.
Betty has thumb timers. Sometimes she remembers the things she said, other times not so much.
But it doesn't really matter. I'm still here in Tennessee. They can come and arrest me if they want to. If that's really what it rises to, we'll bond out of jail and she'll be filed with a lawsuit. Not only that, but she just had somebody arrested that committed no crimes. Can you imagine the damages that I will seek for that?
It's pretty disgusting to me that she thinks she can just shut people up with frivolous lawsuits.
Literally, the damages alone will sink their ship. Like, you just had somebody falsely arrested under false pretenses. Like, it's going from being just a Class A misdemeanor to being so much more. And if they're fabricating any type of information and they're presenting it to the court under oath, they've got some major problems, because there's no way they could ever have anything like I've harassed anybody. I haven't even spoken to the lady. I haven't even, like, the only time I spoke to Chris is when he reached out to me to let me know that he didn't, like, there was somebody acting like him saying they were going to sue me or something like that. She would have maybe a civil suit. She wouldn't win, but she may have a civil suit, but definitely not a criminal one. I talk on my own channel. I'm in Florida. What threat? She lied. If it's Katie Proudfoot, she lied under oath, and she will be served with a civil suit. I'm over it. I've already made my decision.
Betty gives me an extreme case of secondhand embarrassment.
It will not be granted. No, it won't be granted. She's literally has to prove her case. She's got to show the judge. What is she going to do? Show them me in my car driving around on a public road? I've never even spoke to the lady. And Nick Barris needs to do a little more fact checking before he opens his frickin' trap, because he has no clue what he's talking about.
Seems to me like they probably have a lot more than just you driving by their house.
I've done literally nothing. I posted flyers one day. That was over a month ago. Over a month ago. So it's not trespassing like everybody said I was doing, right? It's for harassment. I've never spoken to this lady or her husband. I've invited them on my show publicly.
Read the room, Betty. You expect them to ever go on your show for guests when you have accused them of heinous things on their missing child?
Like, this lady is going to be in all kinds of trouble. I don't know who she's advising. She may try to think she's slick, but I'm telling you, no sirree, Bob.
Let's take a looky-loo back at when Betty arrived in Tennessee and what she did.
Seems like those tables are turning. Back when you guys could lie and manipulate your audience, it was a lot easier to say Bullhorn Betty's bad. But now that we bringing it all out here like this, they're seeing who the real problem is on these streets. And it's time to kick you fuckers out of here. The true crime does not belong here. This is true crime, not drama. Drama does not belong in true crime. You guys are calling law enforcement and wasting their... when you want me to... You know what I'll do? This is what I'll do. If you really want to push the issue, Clue, I'm happy. I'll be here for another day. I'm happy to kick it out in front of your house, if you really want me to.
Betty mentioning another creator's house who she was going to go sit in front of. I think Betty even mentioned potentially using their lawn for a restroom at one point.
Boo-boo. But I ain't trying to go like that. But you keep screwing with me when I'm on this trip. I'll start screwing with you too, boo-boo. So just FYI. FYI. I come with a bigger set of balls. And I don't need to threaten people. And I don't need to be violent to people. I don't need to cause any type of violent harm. Everything I do comes from here. Here and here.
There definitely seems to be a misfire between there and there.
Wisen up, little girl. You're gonna want to wisen up. But they've been sitting here threatening me for days. You guys have watched it. I haven't threatened them not one time. Now they got cops being called on me.
Again, if you have all the proof of these threats that they were making on you, why didn't you show up at court and show your proof, Betty?
And didn't we hear Queen Bee asking for cops to be called on me yet again? Didn't we hear her say that on her live? I need somebody to clip that and pull the transcript of that for me and send it to me at bullhornbetty@gmail.com.
Why do you need somebody else to do it? If you know it was said, why didn't you just do it? Oh, is that because it wasn't said?
because the cops were just called. And so that is going to be used against her. Because what I'm going to end up doing is pulling public records. And whoever is sitting here stalking me and harassing me, I will come into your community and file a restraining order on you.
Betty, the perpetual victim, threatening a temporary order of protection against somebody she claims to be stalking and harassing her, yet avoiding service and showing up for court because it seems to me that she doesn't have the proof of all of this happening like she was claiming to her audience. If she did, she would be marching her booty right in that courtroom, I would think, because, you know, she's such a legal eagle beagle.
And then after that, I will be filing a lawsuit on you. I'm getting over and done with this. If you guys want to sit here and play these stupid games and you think that you guys can keep getting away with it, then I will start bringing you guys to court. Because if that's all I've got, because I'm not a violent person, then that's what I'll do.
Say it ain't so that Betty once again is threatening somebody with a frivolous lawsuit.
It's going to be got too hot. It got too hot because it's an Apple phone and Apples don't know how to, there we go. Apples don't know how to stay cool.
Or could it be the Apple phone shut down because of all the hot air you're blowing and the smoke you're blowing up everybody's asses?
I had to blow on you guys for like forever and ever, amen. And actually it was like, okay, well, my live canceled
Please don't blow on me. I don't like to hang out in Chili's parking lots.
out, right? I was thinking my live canceled out, and it was funny because my my live didn't cancel. I just had to go back into it. It allowed me to resume it. It looked like it went off. It really did. Yeah, it looked like it went off. My phone overheated. It's freaking 100-degree weather here, guys. Like, it's literally 100 degrees. It's 100 degrees and my phone got too hot. So, whew. Today was a long day. For those that are just joining in, the hate channels decided to call the law on Bullhorn Betty for literally posting missing and endangered missing
Betty, why are you posting outdated flyers?
Flyers. This is what they called the law on me for posting these on posts. They literally called the law for me posting flyers today.
It seems like that's incorrect information once again, Betty.
Chris and Katie Proudfoot's army of criminals that are trying to thwart the search for this boy literally called the law. Had an officer waste his time to come here and counsel me on posting flyers.
Last time I checked, Chris and Katie did not have an army that was attempting to sabotage them finding their missing child. In fact, I don't think it's fair to say any of the parents, Seth, Katie, or Chris, do not want their son found. But you, once again, are just sitting here falsifying what is actually happening and taking zero accountability for your actions. The police officer wouldn't have had to come out there and counsel you on where to hang flyers if you would have done it correctly. You could have looked up the laws in Tennessee like you tell everybody else. Go search your laws. Go look them up. You knowingly put your foot on their property to post a flyer in their yard to get a rise out of them. You know that. Everybody in the neighborhood knows that Sebastian is missing. There's flyers in the neighborhood. There are signs in the neighborhood. You did that intentionally to cause chaos.
They said I was running through the yards of these community. I was in my car. I moved up. I posted a flyer. I moved up. I posted a flyer. I moved up. Hardly running through property. They lied to law enforcement yet again to try to have me arrested.
Betty, why is it that your friend Justin, aka Spanky, is claiming that other neighbors in the neighborhood called the police on you because you were going in their yards? Is he lying too, Betty?
Every community I go to. Do you guys see how evil these hate channels are? These criminal channels that help criminals?
You said criminal channels who help criminals. Okay, first and foremost, who cares about their records? You have one yourself. But secondly, who are the criminals that you are implying that we, channels, are helping? Last time I checked, Katie and Chris or Seth, none have been charged in the disappearance of their child. So how are they criminals being helped by criminals?
Every time you guys go watch their garbage, you're supporting them wasting law enforcement resources.
That's real rich coming from the lady who wastes the court's time filing frivolous lawsuits because her fifis got hurt.
Because let me tell you, it doesn't really matter. I'm Bullhorn Betty, okay? If I want to go and get a ticket, hell, I'll even go to this clink clink for some stupid bullshit when it comes to advocating for children.
Sadly, you're not advocating for Sebastian, Betty. You are trying to paint a narrative against his parents.
I will literally freaking chain myself to a post and have them cut the chains off me and drag my ass to jail and be processed within 24 hours if I so need to. I'm an advocate and an activist and covered by media.
As I've stated many times before, I am definitely not an advocate of any sort, but neither is Betty. An activist, I will give her because she pushes extremist propaganda all the time, such as her recent Trump posts with tagging a missing child.
When I cover these cases, the Constitution is where I derive my law.
The Constitution, which she doesn't even factually understand.
Hate channels. Calling law enforcement on Bullhorn Betty for posting flyers. I want that to sink into everybody. I want you guys to pass this around. I want you guys to tell them how disgusting and nasty and horrible and evil they are. You know who is causing all the threats in this community for people searching? Chris and Katie Proudfoots and their cohorts.
I'm going to need for you to prove it because nothing that has came out of your mouth thus far has been factual, Betty.
That, my friend, is who is threatening the people of this community that come in. They threatened me.
Again, I will defer back to, if they were threatening you and you had this proof, you would have shown up in court today to fight these temporary order of protections because, again, if you are being threatened, then you would have proof of that. Correct, Betty? But no, you're still avoiding service of even the TPOs.
They threatened me.
I'm not going to do a full breakdown of how this whole interaction goes. We will watch the entire thing, but for a full breakdown, go over to Chronicles of the Oblivious channel. She has done an amazing job detailing it and showing all of it extensively.
Oh, Terry Bowersocks. Oh, you wanna come around here? Oh, look at who it is. It's Terry Bowersocks. Look who just pulled up.
Terry Bowersocks is the stepfather of Chris Proudfoot and the grandfather of Sebastian.
In the same QX80.
Notice she is behind him and is so riled up that she doesn't even put her seatbelt on.
Coming up, taking my tag plate. Let's turn it around on his tag plate.
Terry has a temporary order of protection against Blowhorn Betty.
Terry Bowersocks. Terry Bowersocks, right there. Came up and decided to take my plate on. So you want to know who's harassing who out here? The proof is in the pudding. The Bowersocks and the Proudfoots are the ones coming and harassing people. That right there, my friend, is Terry Bowersocks. Came by and took a picture.
taking my license plate?
Why are you filming me?
Because you came by and filmed me, Mr. Bowersocks.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm in a public place.
Yes,
Why are you harassing me and following me?
Why
are you harassing me and following me when I'm conducting business?
How can I be following you when you're
You
behind
just were
me?
in the plaza. You've been following me,
I was
sir.
shopping
You
over
guys
here.
have been harassing me and threatening me for 2 days.
Prove it.
I am. Right here, sir. Right here, sir.
So, as you can clearly see, Betty is behind him. She is raging mad, jumps out in the middle of traffic at a stoplight, starts screaming and hollering at Mr. Bowersocks. He is still kind in his reaction to her, and she just carries on like a crazy lunatic. And now pay attention to what she's going to do. She's holding up traffic and doesn't even care. This is called road rage, my friends.
Prove it? Yeah, I did just prove it, asshole. Better go through that fucking light. Fuck with me. I don't need violence.
In my opinion, she's very lucky that that didn't turn out to be a way worse situation. But I tell you what, if I would have been in the car behind them, I would have definitely called 911 and turned that in. An elderly man being approached by a crazy lunatic in the midst of traffic, you're damn right I would have called that in.
I will capture you on film. Prove it? There it is. Who's following? Who's stalking? Who's harassing?
Well, again, technically, Betty, you pulled out behind him. And just another side note, you're from Florida. That is their neighborhood. That is their area. They live there. Seems to me like you intentionally went to that area to provoke a reaction.
Who? The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. Now you want to know who it is? I expose a lot of shit.
I think you unintentionally exposed yourself on this one.
It's the Proudfoots and the Bowersocks harassing people, hunting them down like rabid animals.
Well, I didn't see him hunting you in any way, shape, or form. You acting like a rabid animal, yes, I will agree with 100%.
He was scared. He got caught with his pants down.
Truthfully, Betty, the only one that's been caught with their pants down is you. Need I remind you again of that? And yes, I know she had little short shorts on, but she's been caught without pants running down the street a few times, according to her own criminal record.
I told you it was them. I told you, I told you, I told you. Told you so.
Where's the proof of any of the stalking and harassing?
Ugh, I am so angry right now. Holy shit.
Aw, what got Betty upsetty?
Now, you guys got yourself a lawsuit, Mr. Bowersocks. You want to harass me? You want to stalk me? I'm putting a stop to that shit.
And once again, threatening a frivolous lawsuit because she pulled out behind Terry Bowersocks in a parking lot and lost her ever-loving mind. Yes, he had pulled up behind her and I'm sure captured her license plate because she'd been in the neighborhood causing chaos for quite some time. Betty was provoking all of this and fails to tell people the correct story. It is still my belief she went to that area to cause chaos.
Believe that. Believe that, Mr. Bowersocks. Believe that. Literally stalking me, calling my, trust me, Tim Bailey's here in this shit. Somebody click that and send that to Sumner County.
Betty has zero self-awareness. She wanted her little road rage incident there to be sent to Sumner County Sheriff's Department. You asked for it, so stop crying that they got the information you asked to be sent to them.
Seth, if you're still in here, you saw it with your own eyes. You want to know who's been harassing your searchers? You just seen it.
Again, there's been no proof of any searchers being harassed.
You want to know why you can't get nobody out here to help you? You just seen it. You don't see me cowering away. You didn't see me in here. You want something to say to me, Mr. Bowersock? Say it to my face. I'm fishing, bitch.
You're actually foaming at the mouth, bitch. That's what you're doing.
And you just were caught. You got on my little hook. Even when that officer was out there talking to me, he said, you know, you need to be careful. I said, sir, I'm fishing right now. And he's like, but I would be remiss not to tell you to be careful. I said, I'm fishing. I understand.
Betty, I've been wondering, do you try to fly fish in Chili's parking lots? Asking for me. Well, and maybe my friends too.
Thank you for being my biggest fish. Dum-dum. You guys are so stupid. I already done told your son-in-law he didn't want to mess with me. I know what the hell I'm doing here. But you guys want to be stupid. You guys want to be stupid. You guys want to get the stupid prize. Okay. Betty will help you with that. Betty sure will help you with that. Idiots. Threatening my life and then literally showing up.
Who threatened your life, Betty? Where's that?
And trying to intimidate me.
I personally don't think anybody was trying to intimidate you, but seems to me you're scared shitless of your own shadow at this moment.
Terry, that was a bad decision. Bad decision, my friend, because you got some money.
This is something that's disturbed me since the moment Betty started covering this missing child's case. She instantly was talking about owning the camper of the stepfather of the missing child. She has seen these people as somehow, some way, a payday for her of sorts. And once again, per the Betty playbook, threatening frivolous lawsuits because they have assets. It's interesting to me that an advocate would be looking into the assets of the parents of the missing child who have not been charged with any crime, let alone the grandparents of the missing child. Why do their assets matter to you at all in this situation? You claim you're an advocate. Last time I checked, child advocates don't dig into the financials of the parents of the missing child. They leave that for law enforcement to do, official professionals.
And people like me like to use the law to protect themselves. We're about to turn around here in just a second.
But when other people, such as the Proudfoot family and the Bowersox family, have used the law to protect themselves against Betty, she claims they're lying and fabricating stories on her. You just saw a prime example of some of her behavior with your own two eyes. But again, in Betty's head, it's Betty's rules. So the law can only protect Betty when she's creating intentional chaos and provoking people. Again, I'll remind you, nobody has been charged with a single thing in the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. Law enforcement has stated that all of the parents have been cooperating, and there is no evidence at this point in time to say any of them are involved with his disappearance.
Bad move, dude. Bad move. Prove it? You literally told me to prove it while you're on my camera stalking me.
And again, factually speaking, we watched through your camera, and the only thing that it proved was you were behind him. You were the aggressor in the confrontation. You are the one that is raging, but you're not done yet, are you?
Okay. We never said these were the sharpest tools in the box. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Nobody ever thought that Chris, Katie, or the Bowersox were very smart people.
Personally, I find it extremely smart for them to protect themselves against your escalating, unhinged behavior.
Idiots with some money. That's all.
Notice how she mentions that they have money once again?
Bunch of fucking idiots. But don't worry, sir. I don't get intimidated very easily, as you can clearly see.
And now she's back to distracted driving, texting and driving. I wonder what the law in Tennessee is on that, Betty.
Oops, I'm on my side of the road. I need to find my way back to where I need to go.
I don't know what he thinks he just did. Like, dude, do you not know? I just want to ask you, what do you think your law enforcement is going to do when you piss me the fuck off? And it goes for the Bowerstocks and the Proudfoots. When I bring the shit show to your town.
I guess that kind of backfired on you, didn't it? Because not only did you not get to bring this shit show to their town, you're currently hiding from being served with the protection orders they filed against you. But yet you claim you have all this proof. Come on, Betty. You know the law so much better than everybody else and you're above it. Why don't you go stand up for yourself in court and prove your case? You talk so tough, but you seem to be scared shitless and hiding. What's up with that, Betty? This is one of those situations of a keyboard warrior finally getting a taste of her own medicine.
I'm just asking. Because I've been very calm. I've been very courteous. I've been trying to do my job without making a ruckus. But if you wanna push me.
Notice she claims it's her job to hang up outdated flyers of a missing child, to harass, in my opinion, the family of the missing child, to dig into the financials of the parents of the missing child when there's no proof or evidence to prove that any of them did anything in the disappearance of their son. This is her job, to harass victims and their families. That is what she's telling you her job is. What a career.
Honey, I'll come back with a whole kind of ruckus that you guys would not even know what to do with and your law enforcement will not be able to stop.
Betty, you wouldn't be stupid enough to be trying to intimidate an entire sheriff's department, would you?
Let me just put it out there like that. Don't frickin' threaten me. Don't try to intimidate me.
Two things which we did not see in this video.
You will never win. Ever. You want to pull my card? Do that shit again, Mr. Proudfoot and Mr. Bowerstocks. Pull that shit again. You will hear me roar. You will hear me roar. Pull that shit again. Double dog dare you. Double dog dare you. Actually, it's in this phone here. Oops, sorry guys, I gotta seat you back. I hate this. I like the thing because it's cool, but I don't like it because it's a pain in the ass to get the phone into. And I need to find out where the hell my room is.
You should probably be paying attention to the road instead of messing with all the bullshit you are. Distracted driving puts other people's lives at risk, Betty.
Actually, I think right now, with all this shit, I think I earned myself a steak, y'all. I'm going to get me self a steak. And you know what I'm going to do? That officer was so nice to me. And he said, Texas Roadhouse is good. He goes, but I like Jonathan's. So I have a funny feeling I'm about to go to Jonathan's and get me like a $50 or $60 steak. I think I earned it. I don't like spending that kind of money on me.
Betty, why are you thinking about Jonathan's meat? Because in the next video, you call it Anthony's.
But you know what? I just got stalked the whole time I was here. I got threatened with my life, and you know what? If I'm gonna get run over by a fucking truck tomorrow, damn it, I'm gonna have a steak in my belly. I ain't going out like that. I'm just saying.
Betty with the dramatics, per usual. I think the dramatics are starting to age you, Betty. Truly.
But this is what I'm gonna do, because the officer said that they are second A here. That that the law enforcement welcomes it. And they also said that, you know what? They reminded me that Tennessee has reciprocity in Florida, or with Florida. He said I can bring my gun there. My concealed weapons license works here just fine. So you know what I think I'm gonna do? Maybe we'll get a little GoFundMe. Maybe I just need to go to the local gun store and get myself a little pistol, right? I think this is an open carry state. We'll get myself a little holster.
I just want you to take in everything that she is saying and claiming to be an advocate for children at the same time. Tell me what you think about that.
I mean, if it's going to be the Wild Wild West, Bullhorn Betty's going to get her cowboy hat and her shit-kicking boots on.
Meanwhile, the only deranged behavior we have seen is Betty jumping out in the middle of traffic going after an elderly man.
I'm just saying. But I don't roll that way. I'm not here for problems. I came here to do a job. I did my job. We still have a lot of work to do. I'm going to still continue to do my job, whether or not law enforcement is called 1,000 times. You want to waste law enforcement's time? That's fine. You can waste law enforcement's time. They can sit right there and watch me do my job. And if they feel like I'm out of line, they can ticket me. And if they want to continue to ticket me, I'll just continue to pay those tickets. They want to take and put those silver handcuffs on me for advocating for this boy. Well, then God bless them. Let it be. Let it be what it is.
If you were truly advocating for the missing child, you wouldn't be doing any of this. None of this is necessary. What you are doing is attempting to paint a narrative against the parents because you think and have said out of your own mouth that you think they're responsible for the disappearance of their son.
But I will tell you one thing. Anybody that's going to arrest me, I don't know. I just don't think that anybody is going to seriously arrest somebody for posting these. Can you imagine them having to explain to a judge why they arrested a person for posting paper?
In true Betty fashion, zero accountability and tries to deflect instantly. Stop using the child to create chaos because you have a personal vendetta and see a payday in some way, shape, or form with the Proudfoot and Bowersox families. Do you think the missing child would appreciate what you are doing to his loved ones?
Literally posting paper. Sounds pretty stupid, doesn't it? We have almost 1,500 people in chat right now. If you guys are one of the people that are in chat and you guys have not liked this thing, people are trying to throw me in jail even though I'm not breaking the law. They're trying to violate my law, my rights, right? They're breaking the law, and they keep trying to say, oh my God, Betty's breaking the law. We're going to get her this time. And here we are yet again. This is officer. In the 4 years, how many times have I dealt with officers? How many times have I dealt with officers in my 4 years? Every single case, I deal with officers. And you know what those beautiful people do? Because they're the worker bees. They're not top brass, so they're never ones that I go after. We back the blue here, but sometimes top brass gets under my skin, so I become a boil on their ass. And but the worker bees, the men and women of blue, the real blue, the wall of blue, those are amazing people. And you know what? Every time I go out to one of these places, usually they're the ones sitting right next to me because they have to watch me. You know, I didn't want to have to waste law enforcement resource time.
It's pretty sad that she admits that she's wasting resources that could be used for something necessary.
I am in danger. And that officer informed me about how much danger I was in. The officer himself informed me. That's what the whole conversation was back there.
The only danger, in my opinion, is you.
He's concerned for my safety. He's very concerned for my safety. This is part of the job. And like I told him, I've come face to face with murderers, child R's. It's my job. This is what I do. I put myself in danger. I don't like being in any more danger than I'm already in. But see, these bitches that sit at home with their thumb up their ass, smoking their crack pipe and their weed, they don't understand because they're too busy being high and stupid to understand that they're putting people in danger. This is why you don't get your content from your local crackhead or hophead, okay?
This is like the ramblings of a mad woman. The delusions are just flying out of her mouth. That was just a little bit of what Betty did when she was in Tennessee. Let's go back to her most recent ramblings and avoidance of what actually took place.
This just sounds like you're getting close. Yeah, it does sound like I'm getting close, because why, out of everybody that's searching, they're not hitting Terry Lynn up, they're not hitting Crabtree up, they're not hitting Don B up, they're not hitting Smiley's World up, they're going after Bullhorn Betty? Because why? I'm actually shaking trees, I'm actually going out and asking people questions. That's my job.
Does your job description include harassing and stalking families of missing children? Is that in there?
They're attacking an innocent father. It makes me sick because he doesn't want anything to do with them. And you know what? Obviously, he was absolutely right in assessing their character and not having anything to do with them, because look at how they treat him. They would rather focus on him and make money off of him, an innocent father, than putting blame where blame's due. A mother cannot produce her son.
Truly, at this point in time, there is not enough evidence to put blame anywhere, including Seth, Katie, or Chris. But again, that's going by factual evidence from law enforcement.
A mother cannot produce her son.
That is why he is listed on an Amber Alert, because he is missing.
Nick is the king of misinformation. Yeah, Katie doesn't want Sebastian found. No.
Comments like that are incredibly heartless and unnecessary. Katie, Chris, and Seth all want their son found.
And not only that, but they're about to open themselves up to a mess of discovery. A mess of discovery. Because they are going to have to prove that I was harassing them. And not only that, but the civil suit I'm going through, I will have just cause for what I'm about to do.
In order to get a temporary order of protection, you have to prove to the judge with evidence that there is a need for an emergency protection order. In this circumstance, they've already had to provide evidence that there's a need for an emergency protection order to the judge. And as you all know, the judge granted 3 temporary orders of protection. As of today, has extended those because Betty is refusing service and hiding from any process server.
I think Katie did this because she's trying to keep people from finding her son. Yeah, but we're hitting, like, even in where I was, in Mississippi, right? Where I was in Mississippi is, I can tell you based on everything, I put it all together. Like, he had gotten his contract in December. He started his job January. He was going back and forth from his job. And
we're going to look at the Mississippi video here in a moment coming up. But again, I need to remind you, she claims she's an advocate for missing children. There is a missing child still. 15-year-old Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers from Hendersonville, Tennessee is still missing. And instead of focusing and bringing awareness to the missing child, she has decided that it's her mission, even though she is not a professional, she is not licensed, she is nothing in the law enforcement, private eye, anything arena. She is a nuisance, if you ask me. But she has found it more, I don't know what you would even call it at this point in time, more gratifying to paint a narrative about the parents of the missing child when there's no evidence to even back up any of the theories that she has put out here publicly. It is also my opinion that she is doing this to dog whistle to her audience and intensify the narratives that she is painting against the parents of the missing child.
And staying there on the weekends, but I kept hitting out. I couldn't understand why. It's because they'd never been back. Criminal can get nervous and make mistakes when someone is close. Yeah. Well, they're about to open a whole can of worms, and they've got money. So
I also need to remind you that Blowhorn Betty here didn't even attempt to talk about this case for the first couple months. It is my opinion that she only got involved because she saw an opportunity to cause chaos, and she continues to mention they have money. You can put 2 and 2 together and come up with your own conclusion. Tell me what you think in the chat. I fully anticipate that she will ask her subscribers to pay for her upcoming lawsuits that she is threatening.
They're not going to be able to bankruptcy themselves out of this one. They've got assets. So, it doesn't really matter. They literally, if
the delusions you come up with sometimes are astonishing to me. Burnt toast's a millionaire, and the Proudfoots have all these assets.
And I will. I'll go there and have them arrest me, and I will bond right out. Because I'm telling you, the civil suit over this is going to be massive. You can't just have somebody thrown in jail because you don't like their commentary on their channel.
Once again, playing the victim, nobody's attempting to throw her in jail at this point in time. They're just trying to serve her with the order of protection. She's the one who is pushing and amplifying things, in my opinion.
And this makes me even believe more and more that Chris and Katie are responsible for the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. They try to run everybody off. They even try to run me off. And I don't run off very easily.
How did JLR run you off, Betty? Just asking for a friend. And here's another clip of Betty explaining her behavior.
That was awful. That was so tacky. That was so white trash. That was so ghetto. That was so ghetto. But what do you expect from people that sling drugs and do shit like that, right? I don't know. What can I say? What can I say? I guess sue me, bitch. Oh, sorry. I'm already suing you. Okay.
Let's take a look at Betty's behavior in Mississippi. She's really proud of this.
Hey guys, so the gig is kind of up. I'm going to have to break the news at some point that I'm not in Florida. Right now I'm in Mississippi.
This, my friends, is a complete display of what not to do to parents of a missing child.
And following a few leads out here. And I decided I was ready to come by and take a look at the Yogi Bear campground and decide whether Chris is here, whether he's been lying to us about his job, whether he even has a job at St. Jude's, and whether his camper is here.
Betty out on the prowl, looking to get another parent of a missing child fired from a job. Say it ain't so.
Now, I'm unsure about a lot, but I'm 4 minutes away from where he's allegedly camping at. So here you see, there's the Yogi Bear campground. And I'm on foot right now. I parked at a local store, which I'm a patron of. Thought we would come here because we haven't heard hide nor hair from Katie or Chris. And naturally, I want to walk on easements. There's no sidewalks here, so all you can do, well, there's a sidewalk over there, which I'll probably cross the road and walk on the legitimate sidewalk. But there you go. Is where he was stationed before. He has a Montana, and I don't see the Montana here. I thought I saw him creeping and parking next to a cabin, which is right here. See the black truck? But I can't tell if that's his or not. There's the Montana, so it is his. So there's the Montana, and it looks like there's Chris's truck hidden away.
Hidden in plain sight. Imagine that.
Hidden away right there. Out of the eyesight of people. Now,
this bitch just said out of the eyesight of people as we're sitting here looking at it from across the road. And people are driving by that obviously can see the truck right there. Betty, get your vision checked. Or maybe your brain.
I'm here. As you can see, he's still there. That is his. Well, he has a GMC. I thought he had a Chevrolet, so maybe that isn't his. I see that it's that one there. It's parked there is a GMC. And there's Chris's Montana. So we need to find out if he's parking in another vehicle or if he's parking someplace else. But I was here last night and he was not at his camper.
In my opinion, you can tell a proud stalker by the way she moves. Multiple states and posts it publicly. I bet the judge will love all this.
And it doesn't appear like anybody is at his camper. And it stays that way for quite some time. So there's the cabins and everything like that.
Our parents used to warn us about peeping Toms. What about peeping Bettys? Have you ever been warned about one of those? Well, now you have.
And we have new home sites over here. So we do have a lot of different information going on. But here you go. This is the campground right here. And there's Chris's RV, and I thought Chris was parking someplace else, but that's a GMC, so unless he's borrowing somebody else's car, he hasn't been staying here. So what do you think about this new information? As you can see right behind me is the Yogi Bear campground.
What new information, Betty? Unless that is you're discussing you stalking them in multiple states, that is.
I have been here through the week. He hasn't been coming to his camper. I believe they're renting this spot here as a decoy. I don't believe he works at St. Jude's anymore.
And exactly why again are you doing all this, Betty? What is it, your business?
He hasn't moved. He hasn't come home. He hasn't left. So nobody's here. And I guarantee when I go by their house later today, they will be there.
This doesn't make sense, Betty. If you were so scared that you almost needed a GoFundMe to get a pew-pew last time you were in Tennessee, why would you be going back to go by their house? That doesn't really make sense.
I don't think Chris is staying here. I don't know why he's keeping his camper here. It makes me wonder because, they can get a search warrant for his camper even if it's in Mississippi. And I'm wondering if he's keeping it here to make it more difficult for a search warrant potentially.
I don't think they would need a search warrant. They've been fully cooperative according to law enforcement, and I'm sure they would gladly let them search anything they would like to. But keep on with your narrative, Betty.
We're hearing that there were forensics done. I'm going to find that out. I'm not leaving the state of Tennessee without knowing for sure. But I'm here, folks. And I'm sorry for deceiving you, but I'm sure you understand exactly why I had to.
She had to deceive you because she's on a covert stalking mission, in my opinion, that is.
I would not be able to get my work done with people constantly interfering with my business.
I would love to see your business plan. I imagine that the section titled Bullhorn Betty's Stalking Services is quite exceptional.
This is what we do. We continue to do it over and over again. We fight for these victims. We fight for these cases. And more importantly, we fight for their families when they're being unnecessarily attacked.
One might ask, what is the top quality for somebody with this type of business? Delusional.
Which is what's happened to Seth. And of course, naturally, I probably wouldn't have worked as hard on this case if it wasn't for bad actors attacking a disabled innocent man that has a disabled son missing.
Well, another requirement for this type of business. Armchair diagnostic technician.
And most likely at the hands of the boy's mother and stepfather, something bad may have happened to him.
Although factually speaking, there's no evidence to even remotely back that speculation or theory up.
And for people to be attacking him is disgusting. I'll never understand it, but we do believe that there is true evil in this world.
Meanwhile, she's on a multi-state stalking tour of the Proudfoot family. And let me insert a clip here to remind everybody how fond of Chris she is.
Chris, what would you do if you were? I'm a female. Just curious. What do you think he would do if Chloe was standing in front of him? What are you going to do, yell at her? Ooh, shaking in my boots, Chris. Shaking in my boots.
Like I said, I will bring the fucking cops when I see her.
Bring the cops for what? Reporting public information? Chris? Justin, if we got arrested for reporting public information, I think me and you would be buried under the jail. Like, seriously, just buried under the jail. If public information is cop worthy, Justin and Betty would be cellmates, okay? I mean, come on. Come on.
Okay. Well, and it was more
okay, she says.
Than hers. Because right now, you can inform her. She fucking calls me, says my fucking name, anything of that fucking nature.
Chris Proudfoot, Chris Proudfoot, Chris Proudfoot, Chris Proudfoot, Chris Proudfoot. You're a POS, POS, POS. Chris Proudfoot. Did you hear me, Chris Proudfoot?
Chris Proudfoot, did you hear me? Chris Proudfoot, are you watching? Are you in the back? Chris Proudfoot? I think you're a douche. I think you're a bad guy. I think you hurt kids. I think you hurt women. Chris Proudfoot. Chris Proudfoot. I'm getting nauseous saying his name. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
Betty, I'm starting to become concerned about you. Do you dream about Chris at night? Let's get back to your Mississippi stalking.
And I believe part of that evil is right here on YouTube. This is Bullhorn Betty, and I'm in front of the Yogi Bear campground.
Reporting live on scene.
I have been walking, I have been researching, and more importantly, today, I'm going to be asking a lot of questions to a lot of people in this area, including businesses that have supplies, right? Shovels, axes, chainsaws, anything and everything. I'm going to be talking to local store workers and see if they have any information that might lead to the whereabouts of Chris on February 25th and February 26th.
Who would have ever thought that in 2024, you could have a business, a career, stalking the family of a missing child? Because what? No evidence, nothing from law enforcement, but because you have a theory and are doing anything to make it fit.
We are in Mississippi, folks. We are in Mississippi. If anybody hasn't figured it out, my ending Saturday is going to be Georgia. So by the time you guys even know I'm here, I'm already gone. That's how we roll here on the Bullhorn Betty Show.
Ooh, she's a snake.
God bless. Hey, this is Bullhorn Betty. So I'm in Horn Lake. I came here. This place is closed. I'm going to have to come back here. But I did want to cut through here to show you that right here is the Citgo, and over here is the BP and the Citgo.
Bullhorn Betty, live on the scene, popping out of bushes on every street corner.
I have went to both of those places. The morning crew has never seen Chris or Katie ever. So nobody, they've worked there for a while.
Head south toward U.S. Highway 51 North.
Closing, so I'm going to be looking at that. I need to find gas stations that are open in the early morning. It sounds like these gas stations here close around midnight. So they're not the gas stations I'm really looking for at the moment, but I am under full investigation to try to find.
I think she had a Freudian slip there, admitting that she is under full investigation.
Which direction Chris Proudfoot went, where he's accustomed to going to. I'm looking for specific answers so I can follow his tracks. Right now, after he leaves home and goes to Yogi, his tracks go cold. We can't find him. Why? That's my major question. Why can we not find Christopher Proudfoot? Why can't we not find his movements on the 25th into the 26th and when he came back here? When he came back here to pick up his camper. And why is his camper still here when he's not staying here? What is the purpose of leaving the camper here if he's not returning to work? Those are my questions. I hope we can find solutions.
Betty, did you always dream of being a LARPer? You know, law enforcement LARPer? On the scene with Bullhorn Betty. Is that what you've always dreamed of being? Seems like you couldn't really hack the real job, so LARPing's the second best?
And answers. So I'm making my rounds. I just came here. I didn't have anybody that saw Chris here at all, but I talked to somebody at the customer service desk and let them know to please check their footage from February 26th to March 1st to see if there was any possibility of Chris coming in here. And I told them I didn't need to see the footage, but if they did see Chris on the footage, to call TBI or the FBI immediately. So we're doing our part around here. And
doing our part. Notice how she is looking for video footage of Chris. No mention of Sebastian, but she claims to be an advocate for missing children. The child is missing, but she is spending her time trying to find the stepfather of the missing child.
Horn Lake, Mississippi, bringing awareness to Sebastian Rogers. We're not going to quit until we find out where Chris was. As you see, I'm here at Home Depot. We just left Lowe's, but while I was walking out, when I talked to some of the people, look what was in the parking lot of the Home Depot. A Texas Roadhouse. A Texas Roadhouse is right back here. And we're still looking for Sebastian Rogers, but I just thought it was pretty interesting. Nobody has seen Chris.
It's so interesting that Texas Roadhouse, a chain restaurant, shares a parking lot with Home Depot.
It's awfully funny. He's been around here for months, and none of the local gas stations have seen him. His local hardware stores haven't seen him. So I'm hitting out on literally everything today so far. So I'm going to keep working. He had to have gone somewhere. He didn't just stay in his camper. He had to eat, right? So I'll be hitting some evening places, Applebee's, the Roadhouse, and kind of upper,
Betty out there putting her front row skills to work. I'm sure she'll find herself at a Chili's by the end of the night.
Not McDonald's and Burger King, but I might actually hit those two to see if he has a hankering for fast food. Don't know. We'll find out. All right, guys, so it's been a pretty busy morning so far today. I've went to Lowe's. I went to Home Depot. I went to the Yogi Bear campground. I did see his camper there. I thought he was hiding his truck, but the truck that was hidden was a GMC, not a Chevrolet. So I'm going to go back and look at his truck make and model again to be precise, but it doesn't seem like he's staying, which I think has already been determined, that he hasn't been staying at the camper. Now, we know he disappeared for 17 hours. I'm wondering right now if he took a cash withdrawal before he left.
I mean, common sense would tell you that if he took a large cash withdrawal, law enforcement would know about it.
Because it is my belief he would have had to stop unless he took tools from the house. He would have had to stop and acquire some type of tools, whether it be weights, whether it be rope, whether it be a shovel, an axe, whatever the case may be, machetes, I don't know, right? If he had to go back in the woods. Now, up here on Interstate, there is a whole wooded area.
Betty needs to be permanently banned from the ID channel. She has watched way too many shows.
Yeah, really, like literally right around the corner from the Yogi Bear campground. And it actually has a way to get in there, and there's not a whole lot other than these cones that are stopping or preventing people from getting in there. And I'm wondering if that might be prime, because he would have had time. I'm going to go back there today. But again, nobody even knows I'm here in Mississippi yet. And that's going to be breaking probably by this evening or early in the morning tomorrow is when I'm going to break the story that I'm in Mississippi and in Tennessee, because I'm going to be leaving the area whenever I drop that information.
Betty thinks her being in Mississippi is breaking news to someone.
So nobody can interfere. My work is already done before we even worry with people knowing where I'm at, because by the time they know, I'm gone. So, FAFO. That's all I got to say.
You sure as hell did fuck around and find out, didn't you?
How did they hinder my work? They didn't. Damn, I'm a spurn.
Meanwhile, Betty is still streaming from a musty basement, somewhere hiding from being served with orders of protection.
See you soon. So I'm leaving Kroger's now. We're heading out here. There's a lot of different Walmarts. Maybe he went to Walmart. There's like 3 or 4 different Walmarts around here. So I'm going to hit all the Walmarts, because they've got not only groceries typically, but they've got tools, shovels, and things of that nature. So that's a good hit. So we'll see what we can find from the Walmarts around here. But we've got our work cut out for us today. So what do you see behind me is the Walmart on Southern Parkway. We're here now. I already went through their customer service. I've already let them see the photos I need them to see. Everybody's going to be asking their loss prevention department to look into the footage. If they see Chris anywhere in that footage, they've been asked to call 1-800-TBI-FIND or their local FBI to report the information. So we are on the scene. We are searching everything. We are bringing awareness to businesses that can help, and we're going to continue down this road. until we find something. We got to hit some type of pay dirt. It may take a while, but I'm in it for the long haul. Right now, we're going to the big corporations where there's a lot of employees, so I'm going directly to their customer service department to have their loss prevention search their footage. So hopefully we can find something that'll help bring some answers to Sebastian Rogers, or at least find out where Chris has been.
I have never seen someone be so proud of interfering with an active, ongoing investigation into the whereabouts of a missing child. And again, she's not looking for Sebastian. She is hunting Chris like the rabid animal she is. Let's take a look at another live stream that Betty did recently. She was outfitted in her front row ho uniform.
But I just wanted to let everybody know, with everything going on, I'm not going to be a victim of this criminal enterprise of the Proudfoots and Bowersocks. Clearly, both parties don't mind lying under oath. They don't mind lying to authority. They don't mind lying to courts.
Once again, calling them a criminal enterprise when truly they are the parents and the grandparents of a missing child.
But long story short is we have people that are missing a child that have spent more time worrying about me than they have worried about their missing child. And I think that's noted not only across social media, but noted across, mainstream media.
What is noted across social media is your escalating, unhinged, erratic behavior. That's what's noted across social
Everybody
media.
is noticing their lack of caring for Sebastian and more concerned about them and their reputation, to the point that they're willing to lie under oath. I haven't even been in the community in over 30 days. You know what I'm saying? So.
But didn't we just hear her when she was in Mississippi saying that she was going to be driving by their house?
I mean, I can't even remember what date. I'll have to go back through the calendar and find out what dates I was there. But I've only been to the Hendersonville area one time. And I was only in their area for only 2 days ever in my life. So, this idea that they're not lying under oath, that they're not utilizing these court systems, it's a little weird.
What's weird is for somebody who threatens to sue everybody and seems to love to be in a courtroom, you are avoiding going to court, you're avoiding being served, and you're acting quite foolish. Let's hear what you have to say about your own behavior, Betty.
Welcome to the Hall of Fame, bitch. You made it. Congratulations. Congratulations. Guys, clap. Clap. Come on, let's clap it out for them. I mean, just when you don't think that dirtbags can get lower, they stoop to another level of mud. But I'm not going to be a victim of this criminal enterprise or their criminal activity at all. They can deal with the courts themselves. They can deal with all the stuff themselves. What they did was dirty, and I honestly believe that the courts are going to see what they're up to. And again, they've got to still deal with legal scrutiny of their allegations, and they cannot meet the threshold or the burden of that legal scrutiny.
Such bold statements from somebody sitting in a basement hiding. Isn't it ironic? I think you're going to go down in the Hall of Shame, not the Hall of Fame, truly.
Because they're lying. And I think that the courts are going to be very skeptical of anything that they produce. So,
meanwhile, the court already granted the TPOs.
It matter nothing to me. If you got hit by a bus tomorrow, I would not care. And they can clip that and take that to the bank. Oh my God, Betty doesn't care. I don't have to care. I don't know you. See how easy that is? And guess what? I'm going to sleep just fine tonight. I'll probably sleep better dreaming about a bus hitting you. Just saying.
I'm surprised she didn't end that off with a God bless. But let's listen to a couple more personalities from Betty.
Kathy, you are part of the problem here on YouTube. Go back to the trash. Go back to the ghetto. Go back to the ghetto. We don't want your kind over here. We don't want your kind over here. So, and people, I don't really care what they do to me, but you're attacking a father of a victim. I really don't care if something hard hits your head. You don't do that. Maybe you need something to knock some sense into you. That's just awful. Nobody can say I've ever done no crap like that.
Again, it's that sometimes she forgets a lot.
The assholes that when I come in here and tell me about myself, you guys can go take a hike, because you'll never tell me about myself. I'm too bougie and too good for you. I'm too good for you.
Bougie and Betty, 2 words I never thought would mix.
I want you guys to go back on the other side of the train tracks. You know, the 8 Mile? Get it? Get it? It's disgusting. It angered me. I wouldn't even do this live. Like right now I should be in bed. I'm leaving for Miami tomorrow. Because I work. I don't sit home and bitch all day.
Actually, I really don't get what you were saying.
I have to get up and go to work because I create content. I create content. I work my ass off. You know, getting on these things, people knowing my name, it's not easy. They knew my name long before I became Bullhorn Betty. It's because I work my ass off for my county. I work my ass off for my state, all free of charge, by the way. I work my ass off for my United States of America, all free of charge. And then I take all of this and I try to give back to families, again, free of charge.
Being a front row hoe doesn't pay the bills, friends.
I think they're both freaking ghetto as shit. I hope they take their shit back to the trailer park. That's where they belong. And you know what? Take a hike. And I hope karma bites you in your ass. I hope karma bites you slap in your ass because both of you motherfuckers deserve it. Excuse my language.
Unraveling Betty is a whole new character.
There's a lot of complicity with YouTube. And I really do think that a class action lawsuit against YouTube is the only way that's going to make them stop and make them start honoring their terms of service. And I am serious about that. I am going to start fishing for a class action attorney and see if there is anything that can be done.
Are you going to go fishing for a class action attorney in a Chili's parking lot near you?
Because they're creating their own liability. They're not following their own terms of service which they put out to protect us. And it's costing people, it's basically grand theft in some cases.
I absolutely love that for her. Let's take a look at Betty getting her name in the headlines, just like she's always wanted. We've kind of taken a look at multiple different personalities of Betty's over the last few months. The unraveling one might be the most interesting, but it's also the one that was just featured on the local news. While she claims she's off on business, truly hiding in somebody's basement so she doesn't get served with the orders of protection, she did take time to do a news interview.
At 6. A missing teen's mother claims she's being stalked and falsely accused by a YouTuber. So now she's taking legal action. Good evening and welcome to News 2 at 6. I'm Bob Mueller. 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers disappeared 5 months ago from his family's home in Hendersonville. The teen's mother has been granted a temporary order of protection against a Florida YouTuber by the name of Bullhorn Betty. Well, tonight, News 2's Caitlin Quisenberry sat down and spoke with the influencer.
Sebastian Rogers has not been seen since February 25th. Since then, the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, along with several other agencies, searched for a little over a week before officials said they were scaling back to focus their efforts on the investigative side. YouTubers and TikTokers nationwide have covered nearly every step, but now Sebastian's mom, Katie Proudfoot, indicates it's gone too far. In a legal filing for an order of protection, Katie says Andrea Griffin, also known by her YouTube name of Bullhorn Betty, accused the family of harming their son while, quote, inciting the public and her followers to aid her in stalking. Katie calls the YouTuber, quote, dangerous. Andrea tells me she has not received the temporary order of protection, but claims she has not done anything illegal.
If it is from her, then that's absolutely a falsehood. They can go and look at all my lives. My lives never come down off my channel. Driving on a public property, on public road with a camera hanging out, there's nothing unlawful about that. That happened over a month ago. It was when it's the only time I've been in the Hendersonville area. The questions of this case are becoming more and more.
Andrea says her main goal is to provide informational content to the public and to help find Sebastian. She tells me these accusations are just a distraction.
I don't like the drama on the channel, and the more I resist the drama and keep it focused about Sebastian, the more these distractions keep coming up. This is all about Sebastian Rogers, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. It's not about Seth Rogers. It's not about Katie Proudfoot. It's not about Christopher Proudfoot. It's about where is Sebastian Rogers and how can we bring him home.
A court-ordered hearing is set for August 8th at the Sumner County Courthouse. Each of Bullhorn Betty's YouTube videos will be summarized for the DA's office. Until that time, a temporary restraining order says Andrea cannot stalk or come within 100 feet of Katie or her home. In Nashville, Caitlin Quisenberry, News 2.
We reached out to Katie Proudfoot for comment and have not heard back.
And as of today, August 8th, 2024, the temporary orders of protection have been extended till August 22nd. There will be a lot more to come. So while Betty unravels on somebody's musty basement avoiding paperwork, I will continue to rally around the parents of a missing child going through their worst time and saying it is not okay for how these victims and their families are treated. No parents of any missing children should ever have to go through this, ever. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day. And here's one last reminder of who Blowhorn Betty really is.
But you can't control Bullhorn Betty. I got questions. I'll treat you, I'll give you a fair shake, but I got questions. So we got that. He's going to sue everybody. He's ready to sue. He's ready to sue. And of course, the whole Chris Media pussyfoot thing came because I told him that I'm kind of like a herpy. I don't really go away. And it could have been worse. You know, I could have been chlamydia or gonorrhea and, like, you know, got the rod. But I'm just a mild case of herpes that's just not going to go away. And just when you think you got rid of me, I kind of come back up and bite just a little bit. Just bite just a little bit. I'm just saying, Chris. I'm not really the one you want up your you know, in your drawers and stuff like that. I'm just saying. So we did some due diligence.